Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is our Saturday edition of Rasaji Speaks. Hope you had a wonderful, wonderful week. Loving to be with you guys today. Don't forget, Master David's class is up at 11 o'clock Eastern Time this morning, 10 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Mountain, and of course, 8 o'clock for you early risers on the Pacific Rim. Today, we want to talk about journey through the senses, unlocking spiritual healings with sights, sounds, and smells. I noticed that after going to Tibet, that my sense of hearing had really been altered. And I asked the lamas how this was happening, and they said it was through the city practices, the siddhanas, the spiritual practices. Atonement was going on. They said atonement of one-ment with the divine. I remember Albert Einstein said that the thought processes were like a radio antenna on top of an FM band. Well, it was interesting because not only did I start to hear things much easier in 3D, I started to hear things in 4 and 5D. I didn't know that's what was happening initially, but that's what's happening. And now I have to really be careful. Sometimes people's regular speech is accelerated for me and a little bit loud. If I go into a concert or something, a lot of times I'll wear earplugs or cotton in my ear. That started happening after my first journey back. Being born a dancer, I would still like to go out sometimes with the young kids when I came back. And I called the young kids. I was the same age as they were, but I never felt really young. Always hung out with people 5 or 10 years my senior, and barely were they old enough to satisfy my intellect, what was going on. But after spending several years in Tibet, everything had changed. I'd had so many altered state experiences. Later, the sight began to come, and I would look at people and know that it looked like they were waking up in the mornings in the Smoky Mountains, and I noticed a smoky mist around people. Years later, as I began to work with people, I saw the colors of the rainbows in the auric field that surround them. As it began to unfold, I started to see the actual chakra wheel that was spinning. Later, the spokes, the nadas. It was very interesting to watch what would happen. Over the years, I've been mentoring people privately, all the way back when Skype was launched over 20 years, but way before Zoom was. I found out that I could, from the tone of their voice, know what their health condition was, especially whether they were vital or not, whether they had any real serious chi or definitely a deficiency in the chi. Also, I could hear prosperity, and also I could hear poverty in their voices. Later, I would begin to see this in their aura. I was fascinated, even on electronic devices, that I could begin to see their auric field, their energy body. As I unfolded in this with my siddhanas with over 5 decades of practice, my sense of smell and taste then accelerated. And I realized that all the senses of smell, taste, sight, hearing really impact the first 5 chakras in the body. And that if you could master those, you're mastering the senses, but you're also mastering the elements that support the senses: earth, water, air, fire, and the mind itself. became really evident how all of this went together. I was extremely fascinated. I felt like I was learning a new science. I was wondering, why were they not teaching this in school? This is way more important than the crap they're teaching people in school. Well, the crap that they taught people got worse as the years went on because of the political influences. Now a family can pay $50,000 to $100,000 a year for a college to be manipulated, and people turn their mind into mush. I wondered why in this incarnation, outside of the learning Sanskrit and outside of learning teachings on Ayurveda and the Kata Kappa, why Spirit had protected me from going to academia in this lifetime. And I realized because most people that go to academia, if they've done it since the 70s or beyond, pretty much has to have a lobotomy in that area in order to embrace the real spiritual side of themselves. I had gotten an education of the highest order through the lamas and through the city yoga masters, but it was an education in totally a different realm, on a different way happening. And they were wanting me to become something so different than some academic collegiate duplicate that they spit out like some computer chip. No, they wanted me to think for myself. They wanted me to experience for myself. And then they wanted me to pray and fast and weigh the difference as Lord Jesus, taught us how to do. So happy to be with you, to be able to serve you, and to help you with your city yoga teachings, and to also help you with all the tutelage of the Lamasery. We must be grateful and we must stay humble and open up our senses and understand that they are opening up, not to scare us, not to spook us, but to make us more human, to engage in the world and learn to be detached also. Barigi, barigi. And as we say in Tibet, Baraka Bushai. May the blessings be to you and your glorious family. Don't forget, live streaming is only up for about another week for the early bird special to Tucson. So if you're not going, Lynette says we do have still a few tickets for Tucson, but we have a good price right now on live streaming, and we want to try to fill it up and make a good turnout for Sister Judith and Brother Tom for the tour that will be there in Tucson. It's a beautiful thing, and they're a beautiful host. Take care and God bless, and remember to be a blessing to someone this weekend that cannot be a blessing to themselves. Never thought that would hit me any harder than recently Easter weekend, pushing my mom around in a wheelchair. It really hit home to me about being a blessing to someone that cannot be that kind of blessing themselves. God bless you all, and I'll see you bright and early Monday.